Hi again. In this class we will conjugate the verb contar. Contar has two meanings, right? And it is a very much used verb in Spanish. Contar can mean to count, like when we count numbers, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. That is contar. Or when we count money, right? 100, 200, 300. We are counting money. Estamos contando. We use the verb contar. But also the verb contar means to tell, right? And we differentiate contar from decir. For example, we usually translate to say, the verb to say, with the Spanish verb decir, okay? And the verb to tell, we say in Spanish that we translate that verb in Spanish as the verb contar, okay? So for example, if we want to say, please don't tell anything to anyone, right? In Spanish we will say, por favor, no cuentes nada a nadie. Por favor, please don't tell anything to anybody, okay? Also, when we are telling a story, okay? Estamos contando un cuento or contando una historia, okay? So, contar is to relate also, right? So, actually the verb contar comes from a noun, from the noun cuento. Cuento. Cuento means story, okay? In Spanish, there is a difference between the word cuento and historia. Cuento and historia. They are both similar and they are both nouns. Historia, of course, historia can mean history, okay? The subject history. But historia is also a story. Yes, when we are telling a story, estamos contando una historia. So, which is the difference between historia and cuento? In Spanish, historia, we use it when we are telling a true story, a real story, something that happened, that is actually history, okay? That is una historia. However, when we are telling a story that is actually fictitious, or an invention, or a lie, or a joke, okay? That is un cuento, right? So, although they are both so similar, the difference between cuento and historia is always something real, something that actually happened. Cuento is a lie, a joke, a parable, a child story, okay, a fiction story, okay, you understand? So, contar is to tell or to relate, and it comes from the word cuento. Okay, let's erase this here. So, now that you know what contar means, right, both meanings, let's conjugate the verb into presente, pasado, futuro, gerundio or present continuous, and imperativo, okay? So, this is an irregular verb. That's why we're dedicating one class for this verb. It is irregular, so for some of the conjugations, the rules I showed you in the PowerPoint video lessons will not apply, okay? Mainly here for the present tense. So let's begin with the present tense. Yo cuento. I tell or I count, right? So here you can see how the verb became irregular. We have the ending of the verb and the root of the verb. Cont is the root. So for a regular verb, the root has to remain unchanged, right, in any conjugation. Here, cont, it changed from cont to cuent, right? The ending is okay. This is regular. The ending is the proper ending of a regular verb of the first group, right? The verbs that end in ar. However, you can see that the root of the verb has changed here from cont to cuent, so it is irregular. Yo cuento, I count or I tell. Tú cuentas, you tell or you count. Él cuenta or ella cuenta. Nosotros contamos, vosotros contáis, ustedes cuentan, and ellos cuentan, they tell or they count. We can say, ellos cuentan dinero, they count money, or ellos cuentan una historia, they tell a story, or ellos cuentan lo que yo les dije, they tell what I told them, or they say what I told them, right? In the simple past, pasado o pretérito indefinido, which is another name for the simple past tense in Spanish. Yo conté, tú contaste, él or ella contó, nosotros contamos, vosotros contasteis, ustedes contaron, and ellos contaron. So this is the simple past, and you can see that this verb contar is perfectly regular in the simple past tense. So here you can see a difference with Spanish. In English, when a verb is irregular, it is usually regular except for the verb to be, the verb to have, and perhaps some other few verbs, right? But usually the verbs in English are irregular only in the past tense, okay? And of course in the present perfect, which is another kind of past, right? In Spanish, however, the verb can be irregular in the other conjugation tenses as well. And here you can see a verb that is irregular in the present tense and is not irregular in the simple past, right? So now let's jump into the future. This is the typical Spanish simple future, right? Yo contaré. Yo contaré, I will tell or I will count. Tú contarás. Él or ella contará. Or usted contará, the formal you, okay? You, formal or respectful. Nosotros contaremos. We will count or we will tell. Vosotros contaréis. You, plural, will count or will tell. Ustedes contarán, again, you, plural. And ellos contarán, right? Ellos contarán dinero. They will count money. Or ellos contarán un cuento. They will they will tell a story, right? Now in the present continuous. Present continuous or gerundio in Spanish. Another name in Spanish for this tense, for gerundio, is participio presente, right? Yo estoy contando. Yo estoy contando. I am counting or I am telling. Yo estoy contando una historia muy larga. I am telling a very long story, right? Tú estás contando. You are telling. Él or ella está contando. He or she is telling or counting. Nosotros estamos contando, for we. Vosotros estáis contando. Ustedes están contando. And the last one, ellos están contando. Right? So, this is quite simple. We don't have any funny r sound, okay? The rough R. So I think there is no hard pronunciation here for you. Let's now jump into the imperative, right? Our last tense for today. Imperativo. Imperativo afirmativo. The affirmative imperative, right? Cuenta tú. Cuenta tú, or just cuenta. Count or